Good afternoon, Jason Carlasio. Uh, Back here. Sorry for the interrupt. I had a little problem with my system. And once again, here to talk about the election 2024. Go Trump Vance 2024. Quite a bit of things to talk about here. Quite a few of issues going on. Plenty to talk about. Talking about Kamala Harris. Her latest interview was very poor. Uh, I know she's avoiding a lot of these interviews. I just see Hayden Harris. Let me say something. If the strategy the Democrats are going to try to use in 2020, it's not going to work in 2024. Because here's the thing: Trump's ahead in all these swing states, be it Georgia, Arizona, uh, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, also North Carolina, Nevada. He's ahead in all these states by more than people realize. Remember last time, as I was saying earlier, Wisconsin, they had the last election 2020, Biden was up by 8 points. In reality, it ended up being only winning by half a point. Shows these polls are off. But in the accurate polls, if you look at Rasmussen, that's the best poll out there. Rasmussen poll, go by that. Also go by Gold Crown Politics and On Point Politics are the best podcasts to go by. But Trump's ahead in all those states. And some people disagree, but I do think Trump has a very excellent shot at winning Virginia, Minnesota, New Mexico, New Hampshire, and the whole state of Maine. Not only the second district, but Maine at large are winning. Um, Very close in all those states. He has an excellent shot at winning all those states. I also believe he has an excellent shot at winning New York, New Jersey. Turnout was amazing. People couldn't get in. Just recently in New York, Nassau County was there, could not even get in. The turnout was incredible. He has an excellent shot, I believe, of winning New Jersey, and he has an excellent shot at winning New York. I think New Jersey first, then New York. And if Kamala Harris is counting on the blacks, Hispanics, I don't think that's going to work because Trump right now is at close to 50% with the Hispanics, 20%, over 20% with the blacks, African Americans. So she can't count on the urban areas, which tells me that that's why New York, New Jersey is definitely in play for Trump. If I'm going to go out on a limb, I'm going to say Trump's going to win both New Jersey and New York, and I think he has an excellent shot at winning Connecticut too. Some people disagree, but I believe he has a good chance. I mean, I saw some poll Connecticut recently, 53% for Harris, 37 for Trump. What about the other 10% there that they've left out? They're not saying on that. So I'm going to give the 10% to Trump. I think it's 53 to 47. Well, Trump's just got to pick up 3, 4 points in Connecticut and he can win the state. And again, if Harris is counting on Waterbury, Hartford, New Haven, Bridgeport, the urban areas to carry her, I'm sorry, that's not going to work because Trump is very doing well with the blacks and Hispanics. They're not happy with the Democrats and their far left policies. So Trump, to me, for that reason, if he has a strong run up in the suburbs and he has a respectable showing in the cities, he has a good shot at winning Connecticut, excellent shot winning New York, New Jersey. And the thing with Pennsylvania is Harris, the Democrats can't count on Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. All Trump has to do is have a respectable showing there, have a run up in the suburbs, and he wins. Right now, I've been hearing that in the red areas, the red counties in Virginia, the turnout's very high. Trump has an excellent shot at winning Virginia along with all the other states that I've mentioned. In Pennsylvania, the reason why it's in trouble, she's anti-fracking. Trump, that state depends a lot on energy too, and the fact that she's anti-fracking and anti-energy is really hurting Kamala Harris tremendously. Also, the Republicans not only they're going to gain seats in the House, they have an excellent shot at taking back the Senate. A couple Senate races I was talking earlier about Tim Shee, um, out a Republican candidate for the Senate out in Montana running against John Tesser, who many years John Tesser is portrayed himself as this conservative Democrat, which is absolutely not true. He is not a conservative Democrat. He votes with Joe Biden the most of the time. And Tim Shee is a former Navy SEAL, and he has a former Navy SEAL, entrepreneur, business owner, and self-made multimillionaire. He's an excellent choice for Montana. In Ohio, what I was talking about earlier, Bernie Moreno, he has an excellent chance of being the Republican candidate for Ohio. Owned a lot of car dealerships, entrepreneur, very smart, very articulate. From the outside, going up against Sheldon Brown, the Democrat who's been there since the Nixon administration, who, by the way, votes for Joe Biden most of the time. He has an excellent chance. I believe Bernie Bernie Morano, the Republican candidate for the U.S. Senate in Ohio, has an excellent chance of winning that. So between Bernie Morano in Ohio and Tim Shee out in Minnesota, uh, not Minnesota, I'm sorry, Montana, they Republicans have an excellent chance of picking up 2 seats there. I'm going to say, like I was saying earlier, Republicans have a good chance, I think, of picking up 52, 53, 54 seats. I'm going to say 53 seats, but I'd be happy with 52. I'm going to say 53 seats. They're going to end up with in the U.S. Senate. And I mean, all they got to do is pick up one to get the majority, 51. But they have an excellent chance of getting um, to 53, maybe 54. Hopefully, the more the merrier. But I think they have an excellent chance of doing that just on Trump's coattails. Um, it's funny. For years, Pennsylvania was fool's gold. Many people said, "Oh, the Republicans will never win Pennsylvania." Well, Trump won it. And remember, Ohio was a swing state and everything. Now it's in the hands of the Republicans. Remember, Florida is a swing state. Now it's in the hands of the Republicans. And what about all these Democrats saying that, oh, Texas, they want to swing Texas. Texas is going to turn purple. Well, I don't see that happening anytime soon. I really don't see that. And Ted Cruz, the race there, the Democrats are making it like, oh, it's a tight race. They have a shot. No, Ted Cruz is in. Um, don't take it for granted, people out there. If you're living in Texas, make sure you go out and vote for Donald Trump, Ted Cruz. But you have to look at the fact that um, all all red. I'm sorry, Allman. I forget his name. The gentleman running against Ted Cruz. He does not have a shot of winning. He is too far left for Texas. He does not have a shot at winning. Um, and Ted Cruz has done a great job in the Senate, and I don't see how Aldman is his last name. I forget his first name. He's running there for the um, running against Ted Cruz. I know Ted Cruz has been a target by the wacky left, by Chuck Schumer, but I see Ted Cruz definitely holding on to that seat by about between 5 and 7 points. I believe he'll get on Trump's coattails. They're putting a lot of effort. They're throwing the kitchen sink at Ted Cruz, but I do not believe it's going to work. Ted Cruz is definitely going to hold on to that seat, but don't take it for granted. If you're living in Texas, make sure you go out and vote for him. But that's a pickup there. That's a hold there. The Republicans will hold that seat, and we need Ted Cruz in the U.S. Senate. Also, in Arizona, anybody out Arizona, make sure you vote for Kerry Lake. Need to that's a pickup there for the Republicans. So there's I believe Arizona will be a pickup. Vote for Kerry Lake. Ohio will be a pickup with Bernie Morano, and also Montana will be a pickup with Tim Shee. That's another pickup. So you have three seats there that they'll pick up there, which puts you around, let's see, if they say it's with tie 50-50, right around 53 seats. And I believe there's some potential for other areas. Here in Connecticut, I like to see Chris Murphy lose, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But I believe, though, what should be talked about is here in Connecticut, how Joanna Hayes, um, my congresswoman here, who's very far left, always with the squad, running up against George Logan. George Logan has an excellent chance of winning. He almost beat her last time. He has an excellent chance of winning. I know in 2022, the red wave never came because Republicans criticized the Biden administration, but they didn't finish the sentence. They didn't say, why should Republicans get elected? And that's what it was. They criticized Biden, but didn't say why they should get elected. I think George Logan did a good job of that, but some others didn't. But I believe this year, on Trump's coattails, George Logan has an excellent chance of defeating Joanna Hayes, who, by the way, is far left. She's trying to say, oh, she's tough on crime, get guns off the street. No, what about putting the criminals in jail? Here we go. Once again, blaming the guns, not the person, going after gun owners. These gun buyback programs don't work. And Kamala Harris wants a full gun confiscation, wants mandatory buybacks, full gun confiscation. That's all that is. She does not like the Second Amendment. She's very anti-Second Amendment. And Joanna Hayes is very anti-Second Amendment, too. And you need to go out, vote for George Logan. And it's funny, Joanna Hayes wants to advertise, well, her husband's a retired cop and stuff, which I don't know how anybody in law enforcement could vote for Joanna Hayes, but she does have some support. I don't know how anybody in law enforcement could vote for the Democrats, but Can't figure that out. Then again, our FBI has become very far left. Look at all the damage they've done to the Republicans and Trump. Hopefully that will change when Trump comes in. And I think you start to say you have to start getting rid of these career civil servants. One time I used to say, oh, civil service, that's the way to go. No, I'm starting to think go back to patronage because you can get rid of these liberals. The problem is you got these career civil servants that are become their point they get in because of liberal presidents, and then you can't get rid of them because these liberals, all they know is government. They're not willing to go in the private sector. That's all they want. So it's time to start maybe going back to the old days of instead of career civil servants, the president appoints somebody like Trump, and okay, he leaves office, they leave, but at least you can get rid of these people because right now you just see these career bureaucrats become difficult to fire. And in New York now, we see Eric Adams being charged. Um, it's an indictment, I believe it was just unsealed. He's saying that this is because he complained about the migrant crisis. And he was right about that. And there's certain things with Eric Adams. I'm not a fan of his, not a fan of all. But I don't believe he should be indicted just because he disagrees with the administration. That's dead wrong. He should not be indicted just because he disagrees with the administration. And he was right about the migrant crisis. That's a severe problem in New York. But I wish he was tougher on crime. You got him and Ivan Bragg. That Ivan Bragg just wants to go around and prosecute Trump. Instead of prosecuting Trump, what about going after the real criminals in Manhattan and New York? But as for Eric Adams, I know one good thing he wanted to do was move city employees once they turn 65, move them to Medicare Advantage, which save New York City a lot of money too. So I give him credit for willing to address that issue and willing to address the migrant crisis. Although overall, I still don't give him a passing grade. He's done a poor job. But that being said, I don't think he should be prosecuted criminally just because he spoke out about the migrant crisis. But he is right about that. That's affected New York negatively, which, by the way, has helped Trump quite a bit. And Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, has done a poor job. Remember at the convention, the DNC, the Democratic National Communist Convention, all they did was badmouth Trump. Kathy Hochul, all she did was badmouth Trump. She didn't say the accomplishments of the Biden administration because they have nothing going on. Didn't say the accomplishments of Harris and Biden, what they've done, because they've nothing done good. Everything they did is turned bad. It's been a total failure. It's been a debacle. And Harris, this idea that, oh, when I'm going to get in office, I do this. Well, why don't you do it now? Why don't you implement it now? But see, here's another thing. She doesn't want to do things now because she's very far left. It would show her far left agenda. She's trying to wait till when she gets in office to implement her far left agenda. She doesn't want to do it now because then it shows that she's far left and she would lose. But hopefully that is the case. Hopefully Trump will win. I think Trump has an excellent shot at winning all the swing states. I think he's going to do a lot better than people expect. He always outperforms the polls. He always does better than what it's expected of him. So I see Trump doing very well. He's going to win a lot more states than people realize. I hear right now the number around 312 electoral votes he's going to get. I predict that he's going to do better. I think he's going to get around 326. He might get as high as 340, 350, 360 for electoral votes in the Electoral College. I think something like that. I think it's going to be a surprise. I think it's going to. They're saying the number 312. I think it's going to be more than that. I think you're going to see definitely some surprises. I know with the Electoral College, there's some people, the liberals, they want to get rid of it. But see, the Electoral College was put into place so the big states wouldn't dominate. The big cities wouldn't dominate these elections. That's what it's there for. So you wouldn't have New York, California, especially California, dictating who we should be president and putting their far left agenda on the rest of the country. Even New York's not that far left. I see New York starting to move to the right. New Jersey's moving to the right. Contrary to what some people may say, I believe Connecticut's moving to the right too. Like to see him pick up a congressional seat with George Logan, great candidate for the 5th district. And be listening, you vote for George Logan. Vote for all Republican. That's what I say. There is no conservative Democrats left. Joe Manchin, even he's leaving. Even I think he knows the Democrats have moved too far left for him. I wish he became a Republican a long time ago, but he's even seeing that the Democrats are becoming far left. They're out of the mainstream. We're a center-right country. The Democrats have been taken over by the Hamas wing, by the far left, the socialists, the communists, like Kamala Harris. They've definitely been taken over for them. And all that Kamala Harris is, she's a far left San Francisco liberal. And what she did for California, she wants to do for the whole country. And just look at what she said, you know, the fracking, she's opposed to fracking. And, she never answers a question. You notice that too? Somebody will ask her, she beats her around the bush. Holistic. That's what she was saying in the last interview. She doesn't have a plan, and she can't run on her accomplishments. And if anything, she's trying to get away from Joe Biden. She's trying to run away. Why did she say about all the accomplishments she did? Our border's a mess. I mean, start with that inflation. She's the one voted for the budget. She's a tiebreaker. You can vote in the budget that increased spending, which means the government was printing more money, which causes inflation. What causes inflation? Oh, it's not greedy businesses, greedy corporations. It's the government printing too much money. That's the problem. Economics 101. And how about what you made the remark about young people, 18 to 24, basically calling them stupid? All the young people should remember that. If I'm a young person, I would be insulted by that. 18 to 24-year-old people are stupid. That's basically what she said. That's why they're in dormitories. That's a terrible thing to say. And young people should not forget that, should remember that. But with Donald Trump, some of his plans, he's the guy we need. He has a history of running a successful business. What history does Kamala Harris have? She has no history. She has no track record in the private sector. She's been in government all her life. What could she run on? What did she? The reason why the blue collar people like Donald Trump, because he feels he's one of them. He's not a politician. Truck drivers, construction workers, they love him. He's developed things. He's creating buildings. He created a successful business. He's a billionaire. You know, successful in all parts of his life. What did Kamala Harris say? I wonder how somehow Kamala Harris, how she graduated college, how she graduated law school. And even as a lawyer, she was not successful because she was in government all her life. It's not like she ran a successful law firm, became a partner in a big law firm. She has nothing to run on. There's no track record of success. Her life has always been in government. And all she's going to do in Washington is increase the size of government. We're going to see more government, bigger government in our lives taking over. And when she's promising, again, what's very scary too is she wants socialized medicine. What's up in Canada, which has been a failure. It's been a failure in Europe too. Where right now, 170 million people, she wants to take you away from your private health insurance plan that you like. She wants you to take you away from that and put you on government-run health care. And it's just going to be like dealing with the Department of Motor Vehicles. It's right now, call up the Department of Motor Vehicles, see how long you wait. Call up the IRS, Social Security, see how long you wait. Have questions about Medicare, call up the government, see how it is. Thank God now, with Medicare, you have choices of plans where you have Medicare Advantage. You could pick different plans. So you call up your health insurance plan. You're dealing with a private company, be it Aetna, Cigna, whoever. You're dealing with a private company. I call up my insurance company, never have a problem getting through. Call up the government when it's government run. You'll be on the phone for hours, just like calling Social Security, the IRS, EMV, you name it. You're going to You're going to get a lower quality product, poor customer service. And in Canada, I mentioned this too, over 70, it's almost impossible to get a heart transplant. Hip replacement, 2 years. Wait till you see here. Right now, if you need a procedure done, you can get it done. And your health insurance approves you, not a problem. Wait till you have socialized medicine. Wait to see how bad it is. Um, and Obamacare has actually been a failure. I like to see something out there that could replace it. But right now, what Kamala Harris wants to do, you have private health insurance, you like your plan, you won't have it anymore. You might lose out on certain doctors. And what's going to become, doctors are just going to be, I hate to say this, but like DMV, not against anybody that works for the DMV, but they're going to be just DMV workers where every doctor is just going to make the same pay regardless of their performance. So every doctor is going to make $75,000, $100,000, say $100,000 a year, and that's it. So where's the incentive to be a good doctor? Where's the incentive to better yourself? Um, right now, maybe some people say doctors make a lot of money. They go to medical school. Well, you need good grades to get into medical school. It's a tough field to do, and doctors have a lot of overhead. They have a lot of expenses. Ask any doctor about the cost of malpractice. Um, and right now, doctors, if they're good, you make 400,000 or 500,000, a million, a couple million, but they're going to make it where every doctor gets 100,000 a year, and it's going to be dictated by the government how much they make. Every doctor makes 100, 120, whatever, 125,000 a year, and that's it. Every doctor gets the same pay regardless of their performance. So what's the incentive to be a doctor? Over in Greece, they can't get doctors. That's a problem over there in Greece. They don't want to get in the medical profession because you don't get rewarded for performance. There's no such thing as pay for performance. Every doctor gets the same pay regardless of their performance, which is pretty scary. So there's going to become another civil service, 9 to 5 workers. I always made the joke, you go to the doctor's office, um, you're going to have it to the point where your appointment schedule, the doctor's 9 to 5, your appointment is going to be at 4:45, and the doctor's just going to say, well, just see, he's going to look at his watch. Well, it's 5 o'clock, got to go. Well, doctor, I have more questions. Sorry, we got to go. 15 minutes is up. That's it. You're just, all you are is going to be a number. That's how socialized medicine's going to work. But moving on to a couple other things too. Um, what's pretty scary too is how Kamala Harris wants men playing in women's sports. I just like to know where the feminist groups on this. That's scary. Trump's against that. Um, but one thing I want to say too is look at our national debt. Our national debt's going to grow tremendously under Trump. Actually, I'm sorry, under Harris, our national debt will grow tremendously under Harris. Actually, when Trump was president, the national debt was decreasing. The national debt was decreasing, and so was the deficit too. Big difference between the deficit and the debt. Deficit is the ongoing budget of the government. The debt is what the government borrows. So actually, Trump was working on decreasing our deficit, paying off our national debt. And with Harris, our national debt is going to increase tremendously. And someday, all this debt's going to catch up to us. We have to pay it. Can't ignore it forever. What's the answer? Can't raise. Okay, so you don't raise taxes, which, by the way, Harris wants to do. She wants to raise taxes. Print more money causes inflation. But the scary part about raising taxes right now, you buy stock for $50,000, that stock goes up to $200,000. You decide not to sell it, but you still have to pay tax on that growth. You still have to pay tax on $150,000, even though you didn't sell that stock. You know how that's going to hurt the economy? You invest $100,000 in a business, and the amount of the business goes from, you invest that 100,000, your business grows to $1 million, the worth, you have to pay tax on that $900,000, even though you didn't sell the business. And it's going to happen even with homeowners, even though there's some exemption now, where if it's your primary residence, you don't have to pay tax when you sell it. But she's going to make it where if you bought a house back in the 70s for $30,000 and the value of that home's going up to $300,000, you have to pay tax on that $270,000, even though you never sold that house, even though you still live in it. So isn't that scary? Um, so, and you know what business people are going to have to do, they're going to have to sell part of their business. People are going to be selling their stocks. It's going to affect the economy negatively. She wants massive tax increases. That's going to hurt the economy. Just think how good the economy was when Trump was in. How good. Um, Everything was good. World peace we had too. The Afghanistan debacle made Russia invade Ukraine. It emboldened Hamas to attack Israel. They have October 7th, which is coming up, which was their version of 9/11. But you think about world peace, how good the economy was, crime was down, the border was controlled. Think of all the stuff that Trump did. And believe it or not, national debt was being paid down, the deficit was decreasing. But then once Biden came in office, this all changed. How about the Keystone Pipeline? 48,000 people lost their jobs when Biden uh, put in executive order to shut down the Keystone Pipeline. When he put an executive order in to shut down the Keystone Pipeline, that um, that affected our country negatively. Gas prices went up, and 48,000 people lost their jobs. So think of it. That's pretty scary. That hurt our country tremendously. With Trump, we were energy independent. Now we're energy dependent. And because we were energy independent, Iran was going broke. Russia wasn't on the run. Russia wasn't invading Ukraine. We've made Iran stronger again because we're buying oil from the Middle East again. When we were energy independent, we didn't need any other country. We were able to sell our oil. And Trump putting tariffs on China was a good thing because for years, China was cheating, currency manipulation, stealing our patents, things like that. He put those tariffs in. Notice the Biden Harris administration kept those tariffs on. You notice that? So if those tariffs are so bad, how come they kept them on? Because they knew they were working. Um, and also, as for us being energy independent, do you remember the price of gas too? How low it was? I remember even during COVID, it got down to $1.08 here in Connecticut. Even other parts of the country may have been under $1, I've heard. So, and then it was around, always around what, $1.49, $1.69, $1.79, maybe around $2. You know, it was always around there, the price of gas when Trump was president. Look how much gas went up, over $3, $3.50 a gallon. Only now it's going down a little bit, but gas is still too high. The price of energy is going up tremendously. We were energy independent before. Now we're energy dependent, which is all it's doing is helping our enemies. But I want to wrap that up. I want to say, vote for Trump Biden. No, I'm sorry. Vote for Trump Vance 2024. I'm sorry. Make sure you vote for Trump Vance 2024. Make sure you vote for the whole Republican ticket here in Connecticut. Vote for George Logan for Congress. Make sure you vote for Republicans all the way down. House, Senate, even governors, if they're running, mayors, whoever. Make sure you vote right. How about our state legislatures? That's very important too. Make sure you vote for Republicans. Maybe here in Connecticut, you make some gains in the state legislatures, in the state House, state Senate. Republicans can make gains there. Same thing with New York, New Jersey, all these other blue states. You can make gains. And I think you're going to see some prizes. I think Trump's going to win states. People not expecting him to win. So I say Trump Vance 2024. Bring America back. Make America great again and bring our prosperity back. Bring peace and prosperity back. Trump Vance 2024. Vote Republican all the way down. Have a nice day, everybody. Be in touch again.